Dr. V, let Dr. V answer this question.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to drop all the goods unless
No,
we
no,
ready.
I need you to go. I'm asking a question. Do you think chivalry's dead? Be honest. Come on, talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, why? Why do you feel that it's dead?
Well, I just think that, to me, technically, I believe it's the young parents. I think that the generation of the young parents, they didn't understand chivalry. They weren't taught that. I'm not going to say none of them saw it in the house, but on a regular basis, I don't believe that they actually experienced that enough to hand it down from their generation to the next generation.
That's why.
So now it's like the young dudes too busy trying to pull their pants up when they trying to get in the car, and you getting in because you ain't got time to wait. And you getting in the car, so yeah.
And I'm gonna ask this one more question. I'm gonna leave it alone. Do you feel that's why relationships doesn't last?
No, because nowadays you have a lot of women that they are not even expecting it. A lot of women don't even really care about that, again, because it could be the way that they were raised. So, the whole independent thing, a lot of women, they just walk into the door pulling it open because, I am one of them.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and I've actually had gentlemen get upset because I have
Because you do that.
Because I didn't wait for them to open the door.
But if that's not something that people practice around you all the time, then you're not used to that. And, too many times, not to come down on any particular person or gender, but too many times some people faking it. So I'm just going to say some of the people that I've been with, that I've dated, they start off maybe doing certain things, open the door, or in front of certain people, they do that. But on a regular basis, they don't. And I'm not getting ready to try to figure out which day this is. So, is this too cold? I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The weather is changing. I'm going to the door. I'm going to open the door and step in it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
that's a question.
Well, and we're going to talk a little bit more, but we want to hit a comment from one of our viewers, and we're going to respond to their comment.
So we made a post on Facebook the other day talking about 17% of new marriages are actually interracial couples. In 1967, 3% of American marriages were between interracial couples. Today, 17% of newlyweds are entering an interracial marriage. With that being said, we pose the question, have you dated outside of your race? Would you date outside of your race? Why or why not? We got a lot of responses. Robert Ashby said, this one's easy. You go with the one who is willing. Question, if this world was about race and culture, why haven't these so-called discerning outlets that are essentially pro-black, why haven't they truly come together to warrant a real, unique change in the narrative and the condition of our people?
Break that down to regular English so I can really flow with that.
Right.
No. Okay.
I think he answered like three questions we didn't ask, but I got him on that. I like the first one. You
part that out.
You go with who is willing.
Who is willing?
Who is willing? That's kind of.
Something. I had a cousin tell me you like the person that like you, but I have a problem with that because at the end of the day, if you sit back and accept anything, that means you just settle it.
Just because they said
yeah. I mean, you cannot do that. I mean, you got to make sure you're happy.
Yeah.
Not just because, hey, Jill likes me, I'm supposed to jump. No, don't do that. Understand one thing. Understand what you love and what you believe in, how you feel. Not because somebody like you. You might not like how they move, how they talk, how they maneuver, or how they live. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. I mean, that's just me.
Yes. Okay, so
I think it goes with also what V and I were saying the other night with the pool just being like so small. Once you take away the people who are married, the people who are in prison, the people who are unavailable, I mean, you're left with what you're left with. So I think what he's saying is kind of whatever's left is what you go with.
Whatever's left, meaning for whatever culture,
right?
Whoever.
Right.
Okay.
Because the pool is so small.
Okay.
So Ben Dallas says,
I don't want you to move too fast. You ladies had this conversation the other day, and you said that there is a great shortage of men because women outnumber men in the world. Remember that we had that conversation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is not a fact. That is not a fact. Actually.
Now, are you going to subtract the brothers that's incarcerated the ones that are
Right,
gay.
that's what we were talking
The
about.
ones. So
I mean, you can't subtract them though, because they're still reaching outside the walls.
Oh no, you can still subtract them
Yeah,
because
they're not in the pool.
they're not available.
They're not
you
in
can't,
our
you can't
pool,
just
but
bump
they're in a
into
pool.
them.
You were asking about our pool.
Actually, they have their own pool right now. They're diving in.
I'm just yeah.
They're playing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Break it down,
but I'm
Clarence.
talking about bumping into them. They're not sitting on the pew. Okay, keep going.
You said not sitting on. Oh, please don't say that because I go a whole nother route with that one.
That's another few. Well, in the world, there is 3.930 billion men in the world.
See, I got to process this number
They're not
before
all
you
men.
bring the next
There-
one.
For women, there are 3.905 billion women in the world. So it's 51 to 49% in this world. So it's not a great divide. It's not the 7-1. It's not that. It's almost.
where you
It's
get-
just a 1%.
You're definitely not talking about Atlanta.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying because I think it depends on the area where you are. And so, we have to do that study a different day because we need to get into those numbers from a whole different perspective.
Good point, C. Stats. I like that,
broke it
brother.
down like you said, like we did the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shortage.
Yeah.
So, but if you understand one thing, you got to flip it on both sides of that.
Yeah, but when
You
start
got to
thinking
flip it
about
both sides because you got to think about the women that's incarcerated. You got to think about the women that are
That's why I said it would be great to
sensitive
really
do what
look
they
at
do,
those numbers
but,
for real.
You have to look at all of that as well as the men. So it is.
I like to see the women that's rolling around, carrying the Glock and they bought it, don't know
all
what
the Cleos,
I'm
the
just
trying to
saying-
holler at
Hold
you
on,
with some good
you
man
can't
trying to
say
holler
that
at
because
you.
I know some feminine women that wholehearted than men. So
No,
I mean,
all I'm
just
saying is when a man start
I
taking
know some
away.
feminine women that are straight women that wholehearted than men. So we can't say that.
No.
So,
But listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying once you start taking away and subtracting the women that men feel don't even fit the description, they're not in the running. They're not in the choices. This is a multiple choice question. They're not in the
They're not
ABC.
on the-
So
not A, B,
all
and
I'm
C
saying,
and all of the above?
yes, they're not
Okay.
there. And then when you look at the men, there's some that didn't make the cut. You give them away. So when you start taking away, I'm saying then you look at the ratio, then what does it say for real? So I'm saying I think we would need to take a deeper look into some demographics on that subject.
Right.
I'm gonna
So-
ask you a question, Dr. V. Do you believe that opposite attracts?
The opposite, I think that it depends on the person and what they're looking for, what season of their life they're in,
Do you believe opposites attract?
Not always.
But you don't understand what I'm saying.
I
I said
understand what you're saying.
sometimes, but I don't believe that has anything to do with it. I think it depends on the person and what season they're in.
Right. I agree with that.
Because sometimes it's a rebound relationship. They really not interested in you. But baby, this joker I just got through dealing with, come on here. You looking so fine to me right now. Let's go to Ruth Chris and call it a day.
Right now. I like that, Doc.
Okay,
And
so
when
Jude,
me and
do
I
you
were,
believe opposite attracts?
yeah, I mean in some cases, but if you're not on my list, you're just not on my list, no matter how opposite.
So if a person is not on your list, now I'm just gonna ask you, if a person's not
first, let's be clear. I do not have a list, but let's carry
Dr. V,
on.
yes, you do. But anyway, if a person is not on your list and you run across them and you have a general conversation with them, and you sit there and I'm like, wow, this type of person has never been near what I would thought
Yeah, that's
that
happened.
I would be attracted to or conversation.
Like
with.
it's a oopsie, like oops,
Is-
I like him.
it's just not the standard.
I mean, is that
I
what
would
you
be
see?
looking for?
Right. That's why I said, oops, I like him. I mean, is that what
And that's
you
what I mean by
said?
the list. So somebody.
So I mean, so at the end of the day, even with men, we have to drop a list. I mean, drop the list. Period. To understand, to open up our minds.
I'm sorry. Ooh, this is this could go somewhere,
yeah, we can
but
go,
we don't
but-
have time to go there.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
I'll be quiet.
some of the way the women make the men list just ain't right.
It's
It
okay,
ain't
I'll
got nothing to
stop
do
talking.
with the way she mixing the eggs and cooking the breakfast. It ain't got nothing to do with that. So yeah, let's keep on going.
I'm sorry, Jill, I stopped you.
I
Let's
know,
put the bed
right?
A whole nother
Right?
book.
Let's keep on going.
Yeah, and I mean, we weren't really talking statistics when her and I were talking the other night. We were basically saying that when you have a pool, the dating pool, what's left, the older you get, there's pee in the pool. It's basically what we were trying to say.
Peed in the
Baby.
Somebody peed in the pool.
And you know it might be something else in the pool.
There could be. So, Clarence.
It's a green spot.
Ben Dallas says, I think I've probably mostly dated outside of my race, actually. My wife and I are an interracial couple, but we never really gave it any thought.
Being like chocolate pudding.
Wait. Was that from Ben?
That's from Ben.
What's up, Ben?
What up, Ben?
What's
So,
up, Ben?
so
How
wait,
you
so
doing,
Ben
fam?
got it. So what color is Ben's wife?
I believe Ben, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dallas, but I believe your wife is Korean, if I'm correct. Stephen Hawk follows us quite a bit, and Stephen says that he's trying to elope with an Amish woman. Does that count? So we thought we'd throw those in there a little bit.
Go get him, Steven.
Yes.
Kelly's actually from the town that I'm from, so her comment makes a lot of sense. She says, I've never dated outside of my race because the town I grew up in was a small, mostly white town, and there just wasn't many opportunities. And by not many, she means zero. I've been attracted to people outside of my race, and I probably would have dated them had they asked. So demographics, I mean, I think that plays a huge role.
It does.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with I know that there are some people who they have made up their mind that they don't want to date outside of their race. Right. And they don't want their children to date outside of their race.
Yes.
Right.
So, the question is moving forward. The generations are changing. I mean, you have a lot of white people and other cultures standing up for black people all the time. And so what are the parents saying? Are they mad because they're on the front line? Because they're protesting too? And so are they praying to God that they don't bring home, black
And I think in a lot of cases that's true.
Whether it's a friend or somebody that they're dating.
Bring home a black person. But
yes.
It's funny that there's a lot of black praying that they don't bring home somebody white.
Exactly.
I mean, on both sides.
You have to look at both ends of the situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I recently, and I think, Dr. V, you're right. I think it's not only multiracial, it's multicultural. Because I came across a Hispanic and an Asian couple, and they were married. I mean, so the pot has gotten thicker. The gumbo has added different ingredients. So,
that's right.
It's making
shrimp, chicken, and steak, everything in there.
Everything in the gumbo right now.
You got some of this, Mr. Scott?
Yeah, we got a fresh comment, man, from Starlet Jones.
Hi,
How you doing there, Starlet?
What's up, Starlet?
She says, can you be in a relationship so long that you just stay there or stay with them even if you're not happy?
Absolutely.
You just feel you put in too much to leave.
Yep.
Absolutely. That falls in that unhealthy relationship we talked about.
Situation.
Yep, that's called complacent.
Yes.
I mean, but wrap your head around that, man. Do you settle?
I'll only answer that
even
question
if it's after 20 years. Should you just stay there?
I would say if you're looking for true love, blissful love, then no, because I'm sure you can experience that. But I mean, you have to weigh things out because some things are based on economics. And that's what I talked about before, the whole economic unification. Some people are together for that. So before you walk away, it's just like a job. Before you walk away, you have to weigh things out and say, at what cost can I do this and still live my life and be happy? Yeah. So you can't just run away and walk away, especially nowadays, because I'm telling you the pickings is slim out there.
And here's I would say no, because after a while, it plays on you. I understand that some people think about it. Some people say, I stayed in this relationship for the kids. And sometimes...
Well, I'm going to talk about that one.
Sometimes we even get complacent, like Doc V say. It's nothing else out there. So we settle. We don't want to rock the boat. But no, it's not healthy because think about it. You're just not happy.
I'd rather be by myself if I'm in a relationship. I'm not in love.
I'm going to drop something personal about me. I never forget when I found out.
Zoom in.
Huh?
Told the camera to zoom in on you.
Yeah, zoom.
This is a moment.
I'm gonna talk about y'all later. Okay. But when I found out my ex-wife was pregnant, and I talked to somebody that was real close to me, and the first thing they said to me is, "Don't stay with her because you have a child." Mm-hmm. And I thought about that for the longest. And we didn't get married till like 4 or 5 years after my daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
And the same person said, are you with her because y'all have a child? And I'm like, no, I'm not with her because we have a child. Actually, you know, I love her. Mm-hmm. And he was like, listen here. I've been married for 30-something years. Sit down and think about what you're about to get into before you do it. Are you doing it because you have a child, or are you doing it literally because you love this person genuinely?
So what would you say to the man that's confronted with that issue today?
At the end of the day, do not. I mean, me and my ex, we are divorced. I mean, we have 2 beautiful kids out of our marriage. I still love her because she's the mother of my children. Mm-hmm. We're not in love. I mean, that's my dog. We do what we do. We take care of our kids together. But at the end of the day, if you in a relationship because of the child, you got to let it go, because you still could parent and still be in that child's life and still be a friend. Like me and her are friends to this day. So you cannot, I mean, don't just say, okay, I got a baby boy, I got to marry. No, you don't. You really don't. But you have to respect the fact that is the child of your mother.
The mother of your children.
Yeah, the mother of your children.
But you would stay in a relationship for business arrangement, but you wouldn't stay in a relationship
for the kids.
I'm just saying that I'm not pointing that at you. It's just a question in the air because we have a conversation.
I wouldn't do
not
neither
to you.
one.
Yeah.
Me personally,
but generally, just to the people, just a conversation on that point. Would you stay in a relationship for business arrangement as opposed to raising the kids together in the same household? That mother-father figure that we always say is just so important, but we're missing it so much in the community, especially in the black community. We hear that a lot.
If you stay in a household just because of that, that's toxic.
Yeah, it is.
And it's toxic to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, too, it's about perspective. I mean, I know, I'm going to speak from experience also with my daughter's father. Wonderful person. Everybody looked at me after 6 years and said, you're crazy. You have this, you have this, you have this. And I did. I had stability. I had somebody who cared about me. I had everything, but the one thing I was lacking was passion. And people said, well, it's not going to be a fairy tale. If I can't have the feeling that I want, then I would rather be by myself. I get along great with him. He's a wonderful person. He's remarried. He was not the person for me. So a lot of times, going back to Starlet's question, people do stay in relationships that aren't necessarily bad or toxic. They just stay there because it's stability. They don't know, maybe this is how it's supposed to be forever. But for me, I knew that that's not how it was supposed to be forever. I wanted to show my daughter this is what love is, or being alone, this is what strength is. So as a mother, I made that decision that I know there's something better than this, and that person also deserves something better.
That's right, Jill. Yeah. And you said passion. So I have this thought in mind. The car pulls up. You're in the house. You're waiting. You're excited, and it's actually 10 years later. But you're excited that they're coming home. Right. And when he walks through the door, so you are really ready to cater to this man because you have this passion. You're excited about it. But then the flip side of that, you look out the window, he pull up, you like, here he comes. Right. There's no passion, but I'm telling you, somebody's living the life both sides.
When you say there should be a balance,
it would be great to have that balance.
I mean, at the end of the day, you might have passion one day, you might have another day.
No, Jill wants some passion like.
And I went to my parents because they've been married for 50 years, and I went to my mom back then, and I said, "Mom,
I can guarantee your mom didn't like your dad every day.
How do you know? Does that passion go away?" And she said, "Your dad is my best friend," and she said, "We still have that passion after that long." Yeah. So what I was looking for was not just a fairy tale. It was something.
You was looking for what your mom and dad had.
I was looking. Yeah, and I knew.
See, you can't. Here's the thing about it: you can't look for what your mom and dad had.
But it wasn't just that. It was like, you feel like you're living with your roommate. And I looked at him one day and said, "I don't love you," and he said, "I love you enough for the both of us." And that hit me and said, "That's not fair. That's not how it should be." So, and like I said, he got remarried and he's happy. He's happy. I felt the opposite of selfish because I felt like
selfish.
You felt like you was freeing him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there are some people holding on to. I'm telling you now, you better listen to this. So, I'm going to tell you to get in here. I'm going to tell you to get in here, so I'm trying to help you. There are some people, you're in a relationship with someone that's not in a relationship with you. So sometimes you got to look for that exit. Listen to what the Holy Spirit is telling you. Listen to God. Listen to your gut. You know if that person is over you or not. So stop pretending. So you got to help yourself, free yourself, because some people are holding on to someone that's not holding on to them. Do you remember when I mentioned that I kissed you goodbye 10 years ago? Yeah. That type of scenario, that's real.
I got you.
And you feel it, like you said. You feel it. You know when somebody's let go of you.
But I'm going to flip this in a whole nother realm, but it fits what we're saying. How many of us sat at a desk at a job, worked on a line for 10, 15, 20 years, and we really, really, really hated that job?
But it's different.
No, it's not. It's the same mentality. I understand it's different, but it's the same mentality and function, because we don't leave that job, or in what Jill was saying, we don't, and what you were saying, well, we don't leave that job because we find the comfort, we find the
you find retirement.
We find the regular
There's
functions
something
of that.
to hang on to.
So any relationship, I'm going to tell you, any relationship, be it business, be it financial, if it's not benefiting you, conducive to you, if it's not passionate to you, whatever, sometimes you have to walk away because you're not doing you're not growing. You're only stagnating yourself.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, across the board, whatever it is, whatever relationship you find your trap, and we hadn't hit on it, but church relationships and spiritual, sometimes you just gotta move on. So you can't stay in that, because after a while, it might not become physically abusive, it might not become verbally abusive, but it's emotionally, because you're doing it to yourself and then you're doing it to them. So there's sometimes you just gotta walk away from situations, no matter what it is.
And there's nothing wrong with being alone, no matter what your age is. There's absolutely nothing. There's a peace and a stillness that comes from being alone.
That's right. And you know what? Before you go there, when you say there's nothing wrong with being alone, a lot of people need to really hear what you're saying, because truthfully, if 1 in 4 of black women will get married, one in 4, that is crazy. And then of those, half of the ones that get married will be divorced in 5 years. So I'm telling you, sometimes you just have to look at it. If I got to be the one out here running around trying to find a man, no, I believe what the Bible says, he that findeth, I don't care what anybody else say. I don't believe a woman should be getting dressed up, looking her best, going out looking for a man. So if it's meant for you to be single, embrace that. Yeah. It's all right.
So I'm going to share something with you, man. Couple brothers that date white women versus black women. What made them start dating white women versus the black woman was, they said, the temperament, the attitude, and the bossiness of the black woman versus the white woman. The white woman is more submissive, and even when the white woman gets upset, her anger lasts the moment. The anger of the black woman is lasting. So the brothers share that, man, and so from black brothers that say they have never dated white women or anything, do you think that's possibly true?
Me personally.
Wait, did you date a white woman before?
No, I would never. No, I have not, and
I mean, but you deal with other cultures of people. So the question would be just like, do you think it's true?
You really don't. You can't really answer that.
Hold on, I'm finna answer that question.
I know you're gonna try, but you can't unless you.
Not finna be a try.
You cannot unless you have dated someone. Continue.
He can answer. Go ahead, Dr. B. You want to shout it out about it, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm finna answer this question. And it's one thing, because I mean, she gonna say what she wants.
She got her hand on her hip.
Yeah, but here's the biggest thing about that, and I'm gonna say this: when a sister come at you and she come at you strong
with that love and that passion,
that means she's trying to push you to another level, because she see the potential in you. She see how to move you. She see, hey, this is what I need to do to spark him to get to that next level.
You say it in a positive way.
In a positive way. And see, a lot of men, a lot of brothers that don't, she's pushing you to another level. But you're not willing to accept that next level because I'm the man. No, it's a difference from being a man and being the man. I want to be a man. So if she got to push me and yell and fuss and try to get me to that next level because she see something in me that I don't see in me, let's go.
So all men are different and all women are different. So some women do have that motherly instinct and some men looking for mama. And
I'm not looking for.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying some men are truly looking for that motherly type of woman to be in their life. They want her at home cooking. They want her to tell the direction, which TV should we buy, which block should we live on, which car should we. They want that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So
Yes,
I'm saying
is.
it's an individual thing. No, because everybody want what they want.
No,
Everybody
it is.
want what they
Dr.
want.
B, you can't say that to a real man. They ain't
It
real.
is.
Well,
I'ma tell
okay,
you-
so listen
I'm gonna
to
tell
me.
you why there's something
Okay,
wrong with
no, y'all
that.
gotta let me
Right
finish
No,
my
I can't.
point.
I can't even let you finish that
You
one.
gotta let
because-
me finish my
because
point.
at the end of the day, a real man's gonna stand up and handle his business.
Okay, but
regardless of
listen.
what. So if
I got that.
Put it like this:
You
if a
didn't-
man has a vision, if he has a vision,
Yes.
and he got a strong woman behind him,
Okay, come on here.
she gonna make sure that vision moves, because she gonna keep pushing him towards that vision.
Okay.
When he falls off, she gonna make sure hey, get off that. We going this way. This is the vision that you put in front of us.
Okay,
So we got to move this way.
and there you go, and that's all I'm
and
talking
I'm
about.
just
See, that's your thoughts, so we can
Yeah.
move on.
Because I don't think either one of y'all answered the question.
I was trying. Y'all didn't let me
That's
answer
the
the question.
move. She said off the move.
But we're talking about black men that say they move away from the temperament of, black men moving away from the temperament of the black woman and the white woman being submissive. I do believe that that's cliche-ish. I believe it's a fairy tale, because I done seen white women bust windows, bleach
That's right.
clothes, slice tires. I
Right.
seen black women
Right.
bust windows.
That's what I'm
bleach
trying to
clothes,
say.
Flip the old car
you
over.
know,
Okay,
slice tires.
so Clarence, as you're getting to that's what I was trying to say, that there's different people that accept different things in relationship coming from men or women, and so continue
I
that.
agree with that.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, it's not the color,
That's right.
it's the person. And like I said last night, and you can see it on Facebook, YouTube. You see, all of them are busting windows, bleaching clothes, cutting your
A
clothes.
woman
up.
is a woman.
A woman is a woman.
So there are
That's it.
things, like we said the other night, there are things that go across cultures regardless of
Absolutely,
reality,
100%.
right?
100%.
So the thing, have you ever heard the statement, man, like when it comes to ministry, right? So we talk about the church, right? Have you ever heard the statement that black people worship God like we're still in slavery?
Yes.
And have you ever heard the statement where they say white people have church services, worship,
Yes.
as if they're free?
Right.
So the statement of the mindset, black people go in their household, we lock our doors, close them up tight, close all the blinds. White people go in their house, they do what?
They blinds wide
They
open.
blinds wide open, the windows are
No.
wide open.
Yeah.
No.
Different perspective, but the majority of them live open.
Right.
We noticed that, right?
Yeah.
So the mental and the mindset of the black and white person is just different. And it is across cultures.
Yes.
So to hear black guys say that, you can listen to them, you can be like, okay, but it is perspective.
It is perspective.
It is.
Because
Totally.
so that's how we answer that question. But Melissa Osborne, how you doing, Melissa?
Hey, Melissa.
What's up, Melissa?
Melissa says, I think we love who we love, or we settle for who we settle for.
Yes.
I think there's no denying that a physical attraction has to be there, whether we want to admit that or not. That aside, there has to be some mental or some connection as well, and that connection is most important. It could bring about a physical attraction that wasn't initially there, that doesn't, however, work the other way around. We love who we connect with, period.
That's true.
That's right.
Very powerful words.
Yeah, I agree with
Go
that.
ahead,
But can I
Doctor.
just say, when it comes to, let's just say, saving the black family, that's when you start crossing the line, when you start having interracial marriages. The truth is, you're obviously going to water down the black people, the black man. No matter what it is, eventually.
Man,
that
check this out. I hate to
continues.
cut you off.
But that's just true. So
Yeah.
it just depends on what your motives are.
Melissa says, shoot, they didn't argue with this white woman.
See, and Melissa is I've known Melissa for 30 years, and
Watch
I
out,
wanted to
Melissa.
hit on that. I don't like when you say, when the black man talks about the black woman's attitude. For one, that is a crock. I am a white woman. I get just as fired up as anybody. That's making an excuse
That's
for
right.
not dating within your culture.
Yeah.
That's
women
right.
are women. Like you guys said, we have. Not me personally, but I've known people who have busted out windows, who have gotten mouthy, who
You
have
drove
done
the
this.
car?
I'm told to calm down all the time.
drove the car.
So to say that you're not dating a black woman, There are weak white women. There are weak black women.
You're
There are
absolutely
weak
right.
people all across the board. So don't
You're
say
absolutely right.
that it's because, oh, a white woman lets me do this
That's
or that.
it.
A black woman's got an attitude. It's
That's
because
right.
you are weak and you don't want to date within your race, and just say that out loud.
Well, I
hate it.
hate to utilize the word weak from the brother.
But let her
because
say
I
what you
know the
saying.
brother, and the
But
brother,
I'm a-
he's not a weak guy.
No, but
so,
I'm also a white woman that he's
That's
speaking
right.
of, and I
That's
can say
right.
that is a crock. If a man
well,
needs
there
to be put
there
in
are
his
other
place,
white women that
James Scott.
that
there
are
are,
different.
but I'm the only white woman
so
right here.
she really, you could speak your mind because you have a perspective.
I'm going to because.
So then the other guy, he has his perspective. So all we need to do is respect each other's
but he's
perspective.
basing it off of how many women that he's
Neutral
dealt with.
voices, your
That's
voice
right.
matters.
That's
Speak
right.
your
But
mind.
I like that. I like that Jill is on the panel.
I wanted to say it
Neutral
the whole
voices.
time.
That's right. Because
voice
guess
matters.
what? James Scott,
your mind.
James Scott, order in this room.
You're
right
done,
now.
James. You're done.
So right now, I just want to say thank you, Jill, because you can say that better than I can say it. So that's what I was
I
trying
held
to.
it, but
I
it
was
came
coming
out.
with it.
When Melissa said it, I was on it.
Come
So
on
you
here.
drove the
You drove the car.
for Melissa to go cut tires?
Melissa and I worked at the grocery store together at 13 years old.
So y'all was slicing tires at
Word.
13?
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Well, I mean, it's funny because, like you said, it is weak women, white women, weak black
On
women.
both sides.
On both sides. But it's up to the individual man who he's going to choose.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Correct.
And
It's his
sometimes,
choice.
and it may
It's
not
his
be a
choice.
weak man, but I just want to say this, and not co-signing for that. But sometimes a weak man need a weaker woman, so,
Yeah, so
he
he can
can't
control.
deal. He
and
can't
here's the-
deal with
and
a
Dr.
real
B,
queen
here's the
or
funny
strong
part about
woman.
it. You said a mouthful when you said that, because a strong man wants a strong woman, and
Period.
a weak man wants a weaker
That's
woman.
all I'm saying.
So at the end of the day, if that man chooses a woman that wants to push him to the next level,
Yeah.
and he's willing to let her push him to the next level, versus being that man said, "I'm the man. You go by what I say, go by what I do." That's on him. That just shows his mentality. If that woman don't recognize the fact that is a weak man,
Yes. And can I
Hey,
say
it
this?
is what it is.
This is
Correct.
getting ready to be,
Correct.
This is
Good
getting ready
point.
to be
Good
light,
point.
very light. And I know we got to get out of here, but I do have to tell y'all this. A black man told me one of the reasons why he date white women, and I couldn't believe he let this fall out of his mouth, but this is what he said.
PG, Dr. B.
Here it is. It's
PG,
P.
Dr.
It's,
B.
this is PG.
Say it.
He
Say it.
said-
Keep it real. Keep it real.
No, this is real. He said because white women wear underwear, a matching bra, and matching panties. And I thought that is so ridiculous because I don't know about other black women, but
can we end the show?
but
'Cause that's just
I'm just telling you. But that's what he said. So watch this. So watch this. But look at my point. I think at this point, I think black men are grasping for straws at any reason to justify dating outside of their culture. And brothers,
not-
wait
Y'all taking it way too personal,
wait a
man.
minute.
Way
Way too personal.
But listen, you gonna let me finish?
No, I can't let you.
You gonna let me put a period on it?
I got something to say.
You
Go
gonna
ahead.
let me
Y'all
put a
way too
period on
personal,
this?
Go ahead,
man.
put a period on
So-
that.
So okay, so all I can tell you, like everybody else said, what somebody said to them. I'm telling you, in the salon, I asked the guy, and this is what he said. And so I'm gonna stay.
That's the definition of a weak guy.
I'm gonna stick to what I say when I said I think they're just looking for a reason. And all I want to say to the brother, if you love the snow bunnies, it's okay. You don't have to make excuses. Like I
got you.
said
I
last
got you.
night, love the one you with. You
But
don't have to
Dr.
make
I-
excuses,
I-
and don't
I
put down
gotta-
any other
I-
culture woman because you choose the culture you
Exactly.
choose.
Can I get
You don't have to put down the other woman.
I knew that'd
You
light
have
a
to put
fire,
that-
boy.
Can I get my
I'm an angry black woman.
And
Nah.
she just bought those panties because there ain't a woman on earth who always wears matching everything. She just bought those
Okay.
that night.
Hold on.
Hey.
Can I
Because you
Go
gonna
ahead.
bring the best
hold
to
on.
the table.
Can I get in on the man's perspective?
25 years later, I bet
Okay,
those panties
hold
and
on.
drawers start.
I do.
Okay,
I
keep
do.
going.
Because I particularly don't care and probably don't want to see the panties. I want the panties off by the time I get
Well,
there.
Oh Lord! This is neutral voices.
Oh,
Good
I
night.
will see you.
I'm gonna be,
Hey,
I don't even wear none.
before we get out of here, man, before we get out of here,
I'm
one last
reading it.
question,
I'm
man.
on
I
my
done
device.
stirred it up good tonight, but one last question.
You done made me blink out.
We're gonna take one of the most profound athletes on earth. Michael Jordan was married to a black woman,
Juanita.
Juanita. and they ended up divorcing, and he ended up with a white woman.
Yes.
She's Dominican, I thought.
Perspective on that.
Well, and I can give you this. Now, Michael Jordan, and when he married Juanita, he found her off the south side of Chicago. I mean, she was
Found her, didn't he?
Yeah, he found her off
Found
the
her.
south side of Chicago, and they had, and that's one of those things where we were talking about. And when you hear about their divorce, of course, there was things that came out, infidelity, but they had both said they got to a point where they were done being married. They were just raising their kids. Once their kids were gone, they were gone.
Yeah.
And I think that, they probably, Doc V said, it was probably 10 years ago that she kissed him and said goodbye, but they stayed together. And I think that's a problem with it. And I think we romanticize that because we think he left her for a white woman. But she even said that it was a point in time that she woke up and realized she didn't want to be married to him anymore, but they were raising their children. And I think a lot of us, without the money that Michael Jordan has, we sit there and we do the same thing. We just wait it out.
So that's a good point,
without.
C-Stats. Definitely, man, I would love to say, man, I do believe, man, you love who you love.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just reality. I said you hold on to it. Everybody has perspectives about how we move in life. Relationships have so many different levels and so many things that intertwine them. We talked earlier today, man, and we said that you never find love.
Right.
Love is always present. You come into the presence of someone, man, that sparks that spark in your life that just awakens the love that's already in you. So man, perspective on who you are, black man liking a white woman liking a black man, do you.
Do you.
Every day, all day. Love the one you love.
That was deep. And I enjoyed this conversation. I hope all
I
of
bet you did.
Some people got hot.
Some people got hot. I felt
In the
heat.
room for no reason.
They always talk
No,
about.
sometimes we have to speak. We tell you to use your voice, so sometimes we have to use our voice here.
That's
so,
right, Jill.
Yes.
Use it, honey.
Yeah,
Use it.
their guns out.
Yeah, they came prepared for this one. But again, and we're gonna come down this road again later in some kind
No,
of
we're
show,
not.
in some kind
Yes,
of
we
form or
are.
fashion. But what we do like is we thank all of you for your comments, giving us conversation. We're asking you to continue. Give us comments for all of our shows. And we're going to thank you, and then we're going to ask you to come back and join us next week. We're going to have a good topic. It's going to be fiery, too. We're going to talk about gentrification.
Yes. I was going to
The
say.
changing of the black neighborhood.
Man, we're in the middle of it right
We're in
now.
the
We
middle
are.
of it.
Great
Exactly.
time
So
to talk about it.
We got some
Great
good stuff
time
to
to talk
share, some good education, so it's going to be good.
Yeah. So be with us if you have comments, if you have some knowledge of that. Join in with us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a good night.
That's it.
That is it.
You are.
Jordan,
That's
Quarter
it.
Jordan.
It's
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
There it is.
The defense rush, Your Honor.
Did y'all get fired up, man?
Thank God.
I knew that was going to fire it
You
up.
knew that was going to fire us up, and
I
you
did.
knew that I
I
was going to
did.
sit here until I couldn't.